All right.
Are you deployed?
I've deployed here, and we've got this battle report. It's a themed army on this side. This is a Martian Mechanicus army with allied Necrons, and the story is those are like old-style mindless Necrons, and we've got the Void Dragon on Mars, so it's controlling this heretical tech priest and his heretical Xenos Inquisitor, who have located a servitor. We'll say it's a servitor. Or it will be soon. We'll probably lobotomize it with important information, and it's one of the objectives on the table. So we've got 4, 1, 2, 3, 6, and 5. And when you claim an objective, you roll a d6. If you roll a 6, it's the captured person who becomes a standard 1 wound kind of guardsman, and whoever finds them has to keep them alive until the end of the mission. And then we got Blood Angels. So I guess on my army I've got 2 squads of Rangers, 1, 2 with arc rifles on these and sniper there. 1 squad of Fulgurite Priests, the close combat guys, Vanguard, Destroyers and Breachers with the Grav Cannons, and then Warriors, Scarabs, and the Lich Guard with the Annihilation Barge. And then on the Blood Angel side, actually deployed is Land Raider with, who's in it?
5 Terminators.
5 Termies. Bale Predator, it doesn't have a Torrent Flamer.
It did one game.
1 game, yeah. Devi Squad?
Yes. 2 las cannons.
2 las cannons, 2 missiles, and a guy with a gun. And then you got 2 double formation of the Terminators that can either double fire or assault after deep striking, and they come in on round 2, so there's like 15.
Well, I do have to roll.
Oh, you have to roll. Okay, so they could possibly not come in. Alright, so there's 15 Terminators. A lot of Terminators. Oh, I did forget to mention, I do have Infiltrators and 2 units of Tempestus, the Lambian Lion Tempestus. Well, 1 Tempester squad and then 1 squad of Militarum Tempestus with volley guns, which won't do me a lot of good against Termies. Do you have anything that scouts?
No scouts.
Alright, so I gotta put in my Infiltrators. Alright, at the end of the turn, movement and shooting are done. Everyone's sort of crawled forward. The Infiltrators are here, trying to come up on this Land Raider. They ran and moved. I managed to glance it twice with the arc guns on the Rangers, and I looked at 2 objectives, so the one here and the guy locked in the cage. Neither of them are the servitor, so that's about it. And then the Necron front, which is over here trying to stay out of the one-eyed open apocalyptic rules, is hanging out. So end of turn 1, nothing for the heresy, and it's time for the Blood Angels to do something. Alright, in the Blood Angel turn, all but 1 Infiltrator got mowed down by Flamestorm cannons. The Inquisitor took a wound. The Annihilation Barge is immobilized and took a hull point. And turns out that 1 more objective is not the lost servitor with the core knowledge. And so it was on to round 2, where my 2 reserves. So the squad, no, and a yes on a 3, and then the HQ does not come in. Alright, at the end of the phase, or the whole turn, the army moved forward except for the Lich Guard in the back. This 1 unit of Militarum Tempestus deep struck and deviated 12 inches, so they ended up probably not within 3 inches of that objective. No.
Pretty close.
And I knocked him down. So we don't know about that objective. We don't know about objective 2, but the Lich Guard's going after it. But I did get first blood because the Scarabs finally tore this Land Raider to pieces.
Damn those Scarabs.
Yeah. So that's... Oh, in shooting, I guess there was 1 death. 1 Militarum Tempestus hotshot killed Devastator.
Yeah, killed the missile launcher.
Killed the missile launcher. And that was it. I took a lot of shooting, and that Bale Predator is going to be a problem now because it's got the flamer action. Alright, so I'm at 1 point for first blood.
Is it movement then deep strike?
No, deep strike and then move.
Okay.
Deep strike's actually part of movement.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
At the bottom of round 2,
blood.
he's got second blood. Yeah, at the bottom of round 2, he killed. He made a unit of breachers run away by killing 1 of them. Wasted all but 1 ranger in the squad over there, the ranger sergeant. killed the Militarum Tempestus with Terminators, taking no losses. But discovered that Objective 6 is not anything important, so we only have 2 objectives left, and they're both close to me, so...
Land Raider was destroyed.
Yeah, he died at the beginning. So does my reserve, the top around 3. My guys still don't come in. They'll come in next turn. They're kind of anti-Terminator, so that's unfortunate. And then this group of Scarabs does not roll a 1, and he does not roll a 1, so they don't keep one eye open. They're not staring at each other. And actually, I got to do it for the Warriors and for the Vanguard. They don't stare at each other, so all my army is functional. I will pick... Problem you going second and being able to assault, it doesn't help my ballistic skill. So, I'm not going to pick anything. I'll take Shroud Plasm for my guys, and then rolling for those running away breachers. They roll 10, so they're still running, going 7 inches. Alright, so in the combat and the whole movement and everything, the Scarabs came up on the Terminators and assaulted them and lost. Doing nothing. The Infiltrator champion charged in on these Devastators and killed their sergeant and took a wound and hold them down in combat. In the shooting phase, the Bale Predator was taken out by the depleted uranium sniper rifles. The Lich Guard got to the back there and checked out the individual huddled in the corner of the barn, and it turns out not to be the Servitor. And so we know for sure that will be Objective 3, but it hasn't been revealed yet. Now is my turn, so I still got only 1 point for First Blood. So there's still Linebreaker and Slay the Warlord. My Warlord is that Tech Priest, and your guys are coming in, maybe?
Maybe.
Yeah. What do you roll? See if you can roll 2 1s again or something. One squad's coming in.
Oh, okay.
One of them has your Warlord, so you should actually...
Drop him in?
Well, no, you should decide, like, roll high it was Warlord, low it wasn't, since you didn't specify.
Okay.
So, it's either High Warlord or...
High Warlord.
High Warlord. Nope. Alright,
No.
so it's a non-Warlord group of Termies. Alright, so it's the bottom of round 3.
Alright.
Alright, at the end of the space of Blood Angel's turn, 1 unit of Termies, or 1 formation of Termies came in. So the Assault Termies landed, the Shooting Termies grossly deviated, and the other shooty Terminators, actually, I think they deviated also.
Yeah, not very much, though.
Not much. So they ended up flaming and killing all but 1 Vanguard from that squad in the far corner. This squad with the missile launcher murdered... Actually, they're the one that murdered most of the Vanguard and put wounds on my destroyers. And then the Assault Terminators charged the Necrons, and the Necron Overlord murdered them, leaving 1 running Terminator who will automatically regroup. We still don't know what Objective 3 is, even though we know by default that it is the hostage. So it is round 4. My guys automatically come in. Alright, the Blood Angels... no, sorry, that was my turn. I wiped out the Militarum Tempestus Plasma Squad, wiped out the Terminators. The lone Assault Terminator was wiped out by heavy grab cannons. And the assault back there with the shooty Terminators, basically I lost Electro Fulgurite Priest, and so lost the combat, but we're locked in combat because everyone made their morale or is fearless. No one has identified Objective 3. I'm tactically doing that because I want to grab it at the end of the game and not have the guy killed. So there's Blood Angels round 4 where everyone comes in. Alright, the bottom of round 4 is what happens. Blood Angel's Deep Strike. His Warlord with that Thunderhammer over there deviates 12 inches into the center of the table. This is the squad that came out of the Land Raider, actually. So these other 2 shooty squads land. They completely unload on the Necrons. I lose all but 2 warriors and the Overlord, and then they roll a 12 on their leadership check, and so they're running, and they will only regroup on a double 1 at this point.
Really?
Right, because we're down to less than... I think we're less than 25%. I'll check that just to make sure. This combat here, 1 Sergeant Ranger is left, and so I can't shoot them to death, because he wiped out the Tempestus. Scions, who rolled 5 get hots while overwatching, and managed to kill like 3 out of 4 guys.
Rolled well this game, though.
Yeah, and then in this combat in the back, the Electro Priests murdered 2 Terminators, but the combat continues. And so it is the bottom. It's the top round 5 where the game could end, so I do need to get to Objective 3 And let me do some math here. Alright, so on my turn, I failed to kill his warlord, by the way. In this combat, there's 2 termies left. Sergeant versus my Inquisitor and 1 guy with the Power Fist, and nothing happens. The Fulgurite priests have been invul saving like crazy. And then, in this combat here, the destroyers and the tech priests came charging in, and nothing happened. I mean, the destroyers killed a termie with like a tread or something, but everyone's blinded there on the termie side, and I failed to kill his warlord, and he's failed to kill me, so that's unimpressive. And we're on to a bottom of 5 for you. Alright, so game continues. The Terminators identified that, so they hold the objective, which is the lone servitor. They shot more at my running Necron warrior and lord. The challenge finally ends with the Inquisitor killing the power sword wielding Terminator, but there's still 1 Terminator with the power fist standing there. And then in the combat between the tech priest and the Thunderhammer wielding Terminator, the lone
Battle of the Warlords.
Yeah, Battle of the Warlords. The Skitarii sergeant jumps in, takes the blow from the Thunderhammer to interrupts the challenge, and combat continues. And so now we're on round 6. All right, so we were debating how many wounds the objective guy has, and I don't have the rules with me; they're out in the car. But he's a priest, so he's got 2 because he's an HQ equivalent. So on this, and I don't have any real movement. Those breachers came up so they could try to kill his warlord, but they made a 3-inch charge and they got no one to shoot at. My snipers put 1 wound on the objective marker, which means I can kill him next round, if there's still a next round. The 1 lone warrior and the overlord are running away. And I failed to wound 1 Terminator with a power fist. It's amazing how many guys are swinging at 1 Terminator with a power fist.
Yeah, it's a lot
He's
of
doing
dice
what
for
Terminators
1 guy.
practically shouldn't do, but he's managed to hold off the entirety of like 10 guys. So does the bottom of round 6. It's your turn. Bottom of round 6. My warlord is running away after being beaten down by a guy with lightning claws. He rolled a 1 on his save, and the tank tread destroyer, he was just killed. Game did not end. We finally killed that lone Terminator over there with the priest, and now I have a 3-up invulnerable save. And we're going to try to murder this guy in order to win the game, because otherwise it's looking slightly bleak. I'm at 2 points for First Blood and Warlord. So the game will end this turn. Sniper, it was a total, like I ran out of my super boosts for shooting, so I couldn't make myself list to a 7 or anything. He's still got 1 wound. Snipers failed to wound him, as did the radioactive gun from the lone Vanguard. Lich Guard are one-eyed open, so they're just standing there. That warrior and the Overlord are running away. They're never going to make their double ones. And my Warlord regrouped, snap-fired at the Terminator in front of him, and fails to kill him. And so it is the bottom of round 7, which is the last round in the game. Go Blood Angels. Right now, I have 2 points, and my 1 guy here is going to get a 3-point for line breaking. So game, end of round 7. I thought Mark was going to get more guys to shoot my Warlord, but he clustered here near the objective.
I was just trying to protect him.
Trying to protect the priest, yep. So my Warlord gets charged by the Lightning Claw guy, and nothing happens. No one's wounded, nothing. It's pathetic. So Mark will score 3 for holding the objective. I will likewise score 3 because I'll have Line Breaker and he won't. And then I got First Blood and killing the Warlord. So it is a tied game.
Yes. Thank you.
I think my plan to get guys here next to this objective late in the game was my goal, but I don't have as mobile an army without. You've got all the teleporting.